Welcome to the Sovereign Teacher. I teach spiritual integration through tarot, family constellations, embodiment, and A Course in Miracles. And today I was talking about giving and receiving are one from A Course in Miracles, but I also believe that teaching and learning are one. And today I want to ask what the Pisces moon and the astrology of right now, which I'm not going to get into all of the astrology of right now because I didn't prepare for that, but I do want to do a tarot reading for what is the Pisces moon want to teach us right now. And so I'm going to do the Light Seers Tarot. And I kind of think that I want to do these readings for the collective, like based on the moon. So I'll do a collective reading for each when the moon changes signs, because that's really fun for me. I am a Pisces, and the moon is my one of my power cards in tarot. It's the unknown. It's a symbol for the unknown, and I also love the symbol of the Black Panther. It's also a symbol for the unknown, and I have like a leather, what do you call it? A leather, I don't know what you call it. Like if it was, not a statue, but something like that. Anyway, I have one of those that I bought at an art gallery, and it just helped me to feel powerful, even in the unknown. And we got the Five of Cups as our first card. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. So that's the energy that we're in now. And it's upside down. So, but the way that we can read tarot is just, you know, what is that card telling you? What do you feel in that card? What do you see? What do you notice? And what do you feel? And the 5 is a symbol, the number for change. And cups are about love and flow. And so, what do you notice in that card? I'll give you like my interpretation, but you're also going to have your own, and that's what's most important. And we got this upside down. So what I'm noticing is the stars behind her, and then there's like some maybe pines or palms that are kind of framing her. And she's sitting down in nature, kind of relaxed, but kind of like resigned. And there's a bowl next to her of kind of like, I would see this as her resources. It's like a golden bowl with a rainbow and looks like eggs in it. And I would see that as her resources. That's next to her on her right side. And then in front of her, she has 4, they're supposed to be cups, but they look kind of like bowls. 4 cups, and they're all empty. And then she has this swirly energy, looks like an egg or white light in front of her. And it feels kind of like that energy she's leaving behind. And one of the cups is spilling into that. So these 4 cups that she's leaving behind, and now it's getting to me because I am leaving behind my old life, my family of creation, and I'm starting a new life. And so I have all these lessons in this bowl that I've learned, and all these resources that I've acquired, and knowledge and wisdom and compassion, and all of the gifts of my journey so far are next to me. And I'm letting go of everything that is finished, but there's sadness in that. So I just want to get from that card the affirmation from this deck, from the Light Seers Tarot. And I really love this deck because it's easy to look at some of the harder things that for us to look at as human beings. This deck really helps you see them in in the light, even the shadow shows you the light. And it's easy to digest. It's not scary to me. And that's why I love this deck. Okay, so the upside down is the shadow part of the card. So it says, not letting go of past trauma, crying over spilled milk, rooting deeply into shadow work without healing and letting go, old stories that become a part of you, callousness, becoming jaded. For me, I'm kind of seeing this as, difficulty letting go of the old stories, difficulty of letting go of the old life. So the affirmation, I always do the affirmation and then I turn it right side up, is my tender heart helps me navigate toward my bright future. So I can face my future and stop looking behind me at my past. I can let it go. I can know that I've integrated all that I can, and whatever else that needs to be integrated will come as I move forward on my journey. Okay, so let's see what's crossing that card. And that's kind of what's facing us now. Okay. So I got the 8 of Swords. And what that's telling me is that we have changed, but we still might be seeing ourselves in the same way. We're looking in the mirror and we're seeing ourselves trapped and bound up and in this story. But if you look at her outside the mirror, she's not that person anymore. For me, she's recognizing that she's not alone, and she's offering this up to Spirit, and she's saying, I'm still feeling this way. I know that I'm not this, but this is still with me and I don't know what to do with it. And I'm still scared and I still have this conflict right now. And I'm offering it up to God or Spirit or my higher self, because I know you have the answers. And I'm going to let you, and in the Course in Miracles, they also say that this is already resolved. So I know that this is already resolved. So we're going to just place that right there. And then underneath us, we have the world. So that's what's coming up that's what's rising up in us. And it's saying, or no, sorry, it's not the world, it's the wheel. Okay, that's what's coming up, which is like the wheel of fortune, the wheel of life. It's like the wheel is turning and we need to move on from this. It's this feeling of like, I was just doing this Tai Chi exercise. I forget what it was called, but you're holding the energy here, and then you open, just kind of like that Queen of Cups card from this deck, and then you close, and then one hand moves up and the other like this, and you're still holding the energy, and then one hand reaches down and the other hand reaches up and you let go. And then you bring it all in together. And then you open up. And then you close. And then you allow your hands to close in on that. I think it was like this. So you're holding that energy still, and then you let go and allow it to expand you. And that just, I don't know, it just was feeling that wheel of fortune energy, or the wheel energy of like, it's moving. The energy is moving, and we can let it move and expand. We can let it move and expand us. And I love Tai Chi for like feeling energy and moving energy and staying in our energy field and not, I am an empath, so my coping mechanism as a child was to jump outside of myself and abandon myself. But the reason that I did it was to protect myself, to try to like control everything on the outside so that I wouldn't get hurt, so I wouldn't get screamed at, so I wouldn't get hurt. And so I am learning how to stay with my energy and discern, where can I give my energy where it will be received, and where is it not ready to be received yet. So maybe I don't give as much of myself in this situation. I hold back a little bit. And here I can give and receive. Giving and receiving are one in certain areas. In other areas, people are not ready to receive all that I have to give. And so I need to, for my own energy, not get everything sucked out of me. So learning to discern that. And I have learned those lessons. I can feel that now. Okay, so behind us we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant can be that kind of masculine energy, but the energy of the world kind of telling us. We also have our own internal Hierophant, which is our divine masculine energy, and our own guidance of what we know is right for us. So this could be our own divine guidance of what is right for us, it could also be like what the world is telling us is right for us. So you can know which one is true for you. But it's that in the past, for me, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, it's me learning. I love the image of the staircase, right? Because we're sitting down here, but we're getting our guidance from above. And we have to climb each one step at a time to know what is ours and what is from the world, and what do we want to keep and what do we want to let go of, what is true for us and what is not true for us anymore. So maybe we've been learning that, and we're in the process of learning more and more of what is true for us and what has just been, passed down but not true for us any longer. So I'm going to tell you a cool story about that that I learned in my marriage and family therapy program. They told us this story about this woman who used to make a roast, and she had this smaller pan. So she would cut off the sides of the roast and she would put the pan in, and then she would put it in the oven and she would cook it at a certain time. And her daughter came and she said, "Mom, why do you always cut off the ends of the roast and put it in the pan?" And she said, "I don't know, that's what my mom did." So then she asked her mom, she said, "Mom, why did you cut off the ends of the pan or that roast and put it in the pan?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know, because my mom did that." And her mom was still alive. So she asked her mom, she said, "Why do you always cut off the ends of the roast and put it in the pan and then put it in the oven?" She said, "Well, my pan was too small and it didn't fit the whole roast." And so, they all had a good laugh about that, because there was something completely unnecessary to do, and everyone was just doing it because everybody else did it and didn't really even know the reason. So, but once they started to question it, they could keep those ends on the roast, and that's like the best part, right? Like the burnt little ends of it. I don't know, I think that's the best part. So just that kind of thing, where we get all these things that are just kind of passed down to us. We don't even really realize, what's come from others and what's come from us. And so we just keep doing things the same way until we kind of uncover, is that really working for me anymore? Does that fit me anymore? And if it doesn't, can we let it go and allow ourselves to do things our way? Okay, so coming from above, we have the High Priestess. So we have both the masculine and the feminine divine guidance. So the High Priestess is coming from above. That's our divine feminine, our higher self, our divine feminine, guiding us into this receptive mode of like, what is true for us? And look how pretty that is. That pink and purple light, and the moon. There's a moon there. And then the third eye is open. Okay, and then in front of us, we do have the world. So we have the wheel and the world. So right in front of us, we have the world. We're stepping into the world. This is our world, though. This is no longer the world of the past that somebody else created for us, that our ancestors created, our parents passed down to us, our culture passed down to us. This is our world that we are creating, or we're co-creating with life. So that's very exciting. This is a new world. So let's see what else we have. We have the Queen of Pentacles is the first card on our earthly path. And how appropriate that it's the Queen of Pentacles. She's upside down, so we're going to get a little bit of the shadow side of this. But she's co-creating with the earth. And she's one with the earth. Okay, so I'm going to just do that one. Queen of Pentacles. Get the shadow side of that. So financial stress, being self-absorbed, smothering others, helicopter parenting, overindulgence, work-home imbalances, and materialism. Okay, so this is where we get out of balance with our, like feeling like we're not enough, we don't have enough. Financial stress, I think a lot of us are feeling that right now. Imbalances and not seeing that we can co-create and that we are abundance, we are connected to everything. So not seeing that because we're scared and we're fearful and we're stressed. So then we can't really see the whole picture because it's clouded and dark. So let's say the affirmation and we'll turn it right side up. I enjoy my deeply connected life and I lead it with an outpouring of warmth, abundance, and love. I am warmth and abundance and love and light. And giving and receiving are one. Okay, and in the environment, we have the Eight of Cups, which for me is very similar. I see it very similar to the Five of Cups, but the Eight is kind of like a cycle. And where we are in that cycle is we are walking away from what no longer works for us. So I see that there's still like burning there. There's still some energy there. And we're walking away into a new world where the sun is just peeking up over the horizon and we don't know what's there yet, but we can see light and we're moving towards it. So we're leaving a part of ourselves behind, and it's lighting the way for others. And it's safe to walk away now. We've given everything we can, and we've left a light for others. Okay, then we have in our hopes and fears the Ten of Cups, but it's upside down. So we are hoping that there's love and light and abundance and everything that we could imagine that we love and want. We're hoping for that, but we're also afraid that maybe these cups are empty and we're just dreaming and it's not reality and our feet aren't on the ground. So we're going to do the affirmation for that one too, for the Ten of Cups, and maybe look at the shadow there. The shadow is disharmony or disputes, miscommunication, struggling relationships, unrealistic expectations. So maybe there's a little bit of that. Unrealistic expectations or not feeling worthy of love and everything that we want and desire. Or there's just a delay, we're like, I've done everything I can and why isn't it coming? That kind of feeling. So whatever that is for you. But we're going to turn it right side up and we're going to say, I live in a state of oneness. I am one with all of life. By bringing harmony and love to my relationships. I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to all my relationships, especially my relationships with all of the parts of myself. I make room for all parts of myself, and I love and I accept all parts of myself. And let's get our, we didn't get an outcome card. Sometimes we don't need an outcome card. We need to just keep moving in the right direction. We don't really need to know what the outcome of all of this is going to be. But we can get a little bit of that, so maybe we can prepare. This is just for the present moment, what we might be expecting, what we might expect in the present moment. And we got Temperance, which is great. It's alchemy and integration of all of this. You know, we're still alchemizing and integrating, and it's upside down, so we're going to get the shadow part of that. But you see that balance, holding both polarities, the sun and the moon. And that song is coming into my head, that Sheryl Crow song. All I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. Because there was something in there about the sun and the moon or something like that. It was the line right before what I just said. But that's also telling me that we need to be able to feel our joy, experience our joy, and that's going to get us where we want to go into this 10 of Cups energy, is by feeling and experiencing joy. Don't be afraid not to do that right now. I think a lot of people are feeling like they have to like feel bad and heavy because of everything that's going on in the world. But that's not helping us get where we want to go. You have a role in it all. You're not, by allowing yourself to experience your bliss, you're only getting your role in how you're going to change things. You're not disconnecting from the heaviness and what is. You're accepting it, that it's there. So we can do that. We can practice that, right? I accept that the world isn't where I want it to be right now, that there's a lot of conflict and sadness and grief and violence out there. And that's not what I want to see, but I accept and I agree to that being the way it is right now. That's hard, right? But that's what I've learned in family constellations. We have to be able to agree to it in order to change it. And if we're not agreeing to it and accepting it, we're fighting it and we're resisting it. And that doesn't get us anywhere. In this very present moment, I live in the United States of America, and it's a fucking mess. That feels awful, right? That's not what we were trying to create when we started this country. But we didn't start it right. We started it by hurting other people that were already living here. People that were living, and I'm not saying that some of those people weren't violent and they didn't act out against us too, and that there weren't times that we needed to protect and defend ourselves. But there were certainly times when we were evil, awful people who just killed and slaughtered peaceful, loving, connected to earth and in harmony, living in harmony with earth, people that lived here. And we have to acknowledge that, and that we're still somewhat doing that in different ways. So we have to acknowledge that that's part of our history, that our experience, and how can we be better? We can't change the past, but we can meet the present right here and what is. And we can change the present. And everything that is here right now, we can meet it with everything that we have in our bodies from our experience, what we carry from our ancestors. And we can take that into this present moment and we can change where we are now. I think that's kind of what this alchemy card is about. So the shadow part, because it was upside down, is clashing interest, oil and water. And I'm just thinking about oil and the prices of gas and fighting over that, and extremes, fighting over resources, disharmony, a need to practice moderation in some aspect of your life, severity, polarity, impatience. And I've been feeling that right now too, like some impatience about what is the next step. But it's really about being where we are right now and allowing life to teach us in this present moment and staying very present and not trying to skip steps. Everything we need is right here, right now. I walk the middle path. I stay in my own energy and I nourish my spiritual wholeness. Okay, and I'm just going to read you the whole thing for the temperance because I think it will help us to integrate a little of that. Temperance is the alchemist of life, and it calls you to create your purposeful blend using moderation and patience as ingredients. Where are you focusing your precious energy right now? Maybe you've been overdoing it in your social life, or binging on television, drinks, or food, or overspending. Focusing on a relationship that is depleting more energy than it is replenishing. Being wholly materialistic versus wholly spiritual. We live in a world of extreme passions and heated hustle. So slowing down the desire for excess in any one area of your life may be harder than you think. Don't do drastic right now. Stay away from all or nothing choices. Clearing your energy of extremes will foster a dynamic, flourishing flow that is aligned with your perfect alchemical purpose. Seek equilibrium and be mindful of your resources while fusing all the elements to achieve a beautiful balance. And the way that this card is speaking to me is I was ready to give up this channel that I'm doing this, but it's something that feeds my soul. I love doing it, but it's not giving me anything back right now, and I'm aware of that. And so I'm saying to myself, do you want to really keep giving to this that's not giving anything back to you? And so I was like, okay, no, I need to concentrate on my energy on an area that is giving me something back. So I'm trying to put more energy into an area that I'm developing, that I think is going to give me something back, monetarily, financially. And the message that I received today from my spirit, from my high priestess energy is, you can't give this up. This is a part of your passion. You love it. So you get something back from doing it, but don't be expecting to receive money from this, because maybe it's not going to be that for you, or maybe that's just confusing you and your energy. So maybe just do this as a way of experiencing joy and using your creativity. And then you will know also when you're giving too much, because I do feel that, like if I'm giving too much, I feel that in my body. And so knowing when to stop giving and when I need to put my energy into something else. It's that balance, okay? So, and it's hard to keep that balance, right? We have a lot of things that are expected of us. Like we have to keep our house clean. We have to keep our environment clean. We have to pay our bills. We have to take care of our children. We have to take care of our parents, maybe. We have to take care of our pets or our plants or our people. And so we have to go to work. We have to make money. We have to nourish our spiritual or creative side, that part of us. So there's a lot of these different parts competing. I used to do this assessment as part of my therapy. It was called the Whole Person Model, and I think it was by Sharon, I forget her name, that she did this whole person model, but it had 6 parts to it. Volitional, which is like your free will, sense of free will, what you have control over, what you don't have control over. Your spiritual, your physical, your emotional, your mental. Did I get everything? That's 6? I think that there were 6 aspects of ourselves and how we were balancing our energy among those 6 aspects. And I'm sure there's many ways to divide that, and that's only just one way. But how do you think about it? And maybe do you even need to think about it, or can you just feel it? Allow yourself to feel where you need to put your energy. So right now I'm feeling I need to end this video so that I can put my energy into other areas of my life. like having breakfast and getting ready to see a client. Where do you want to put your energy now? Where are you feeling called to put your energy? And where are you out of balance? So I'm going to end this video today, and I just want to honor you for showing up for yourself and for this spiritual part of yourself, or whatever this fulfills for you. And I hope you find time today and every day to give yourself that gift of allowing your creativity and your spirit energy to find a place in your life. And so it is, and so you remember all parts of yourself.